Howdy ladies and gentlemen, I'm Lynn Wolf back with another Spyro video. In the months since the reveal trailer for the Reignited trilogy, Toys for Bob has been dropping gameplay, screenshots, concept art left and right. People are asking for a proper trailer, and honestly, with all the content we're getting, I really don't care if we get one or not. I think that the way they've been doing things now is more interesting, more spontaneous, and it's really unprecedented because they are actually engaging with us and wanting our feedback so that they can make improvements on the game. But since I'm late to the party on going over these drops, I thought I'd do a few recap videos to go over at least most of what we've seen from both Spyro the Dragon and Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, or Gateway to Glimmer, if you prefer. I apologize that these videos will be a little lengthy, but once we're all caught up, I promise they will be a lot shorter. So, no more stalling. Let's get right into it. So first we're going to look at this early image, one of the first ones we got from Reignited, and I love it. The color palette has changed in recent footage, so if it's a little dull in this picture, it got changed. The door, people speculated that that had something to do with traveling between the three games, but I'm not sure about that now that we have fast travel options that were revealed. So we'll see if the door is part of that. Somehow I kind of doubt it, but who knows. And here we have the B-roll footage of Artisans. I think it looks really great. Once again, the lighting has changed and everything, so it looks really good. The crystal dragons that you'll see in a second are gorgeous. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I think this glide looks a little harder to me. We'll see. I think he descends a little bit faster than he did in the original one. See, there's the crystal dragon. I think it's breathtaking. My only two little nitpicks are the build of these little stone steps. I think a fan actually did a better make of those. I don't hate them. I've grown to like them. I think they're absolutely fine. They just don't have like the cool designs that the original one had that looks like put together stones. I also am a little mournful about that little tunnel here. It used to be purple. I'm pretty sure it used to be the Spyro S, but they changed it to match the other little room by the balloonist. So, you know, that's fine. I like it fine. And then here we have a screenshot of one of the life chests. I'm not sure what's up with the little hands there. I thought it was supposed to be like a little baby dragon or something in there, but Spyro is a kid dragon and doesn't have hands like that, so I'm not sure what that's all about, but it still looks kind of cool. It still looks really good. And here was one of the early screenshots of the Norks. At first I wasn't too keen on it, but I like the design of these Norks. They're pretty cute, they're pretty fun looking. Pretty silly. And then, of course, everyone was worried about Nestor's design. We all thought it was Nestor in that trailer that we saw originally. We think that that's a Magic Crafter's dragon now. I'm on board with that. I might like it better if it is. But thankfully, we got to see the real Nestor, and his design is amazing. He's cool, calm, and collected, but still very much a warrior. At first I was worried that I wasn't going to like a lot of the dragon designs, and although some of the faces are a little odd to me, I think I'm going to like most of them, for sure. And we got this cool concept art that Toys for Bob put out of Nestor. Looks great, looks amazing, as always. Next we're going to look at Stone Hill. So we see this concept art that Toys for Bob put out. Love that the grass is kind of broken up with different things. I love the architecture there, and the dome on top of the building looks really nice. And then we move right along here to the first footage that we actually saw of Stone Hill. Again, the lighting wasn't final. The walls look great. You get to see the burning sheep animation. You get to see the shepherds. There's no knockback that time like there was originally. And then we get some concept art of the ram that was missing from that footage. He's looking good, and you can see him in action right here. The purple haze, obviously everybody knows that's not part of the final stuff. And you can see the side-by-side comparison of this room. Kind of miss the purples, but it looks gorgeous, especially with the dynamic music. And we get our little tunnel, also good lighting. And this little like bridge thingy over here looks nice. Then we get concept art of the egg thief. He looks great. He looks much better here, I think, than the in-game version we saw in the trailer. But again, none of that footage was final, so I withhold judgment until I really see him. So then we get a comparison of the Nork sentries from Dark Hollow. Not too much from Dark Hollow yet. I think I'll be pleasantly surprised. First, I was not keen on this design at all, but I don't think I'm really gonna care and pay that much attention to how weird they look when I actually play it, so yeah, it's not gonna bother me. We also get to see concept art from Dark Hollow, that back room that I guess is now a library. And while Dark Hollow was always pretty nostalgic, it wasn't what I considered one of my favorite levels. It might be now if it looks exactly like this. I love it. I love it, absolutely. And then we get to see our first look at Town Square. Another level that was kind of meh to me, not bad, but not my favorite. Looks gorgeous. I think I'm going to like it a lot better in Reignited. I love where that crystal dragon is right there in the back. Even if this was final lighting, I would love that. Love that shot. Then we get to see concept art for the bull. Bull looks great. Didn't realize that the red might have been controversial. Don't know if it's supposed to be blood. Looks cool anyway. Not going to bother me either way. We get to see the matador. I don't care if his feet are smaller. He looks cute. Unfortunately, I don't think it translated all that well to the footage here. He looks a little different, but again, that footage isn't final, so it'll probably change. And we get to see these steps. I like how they inverted the grass from the stone from the original. That's also a nice interpretation. Now for a look at Toasty, moving right along. Of course, there's this beautiful, almost concept art looking shot of Toasty. Looks great, especially since they started with it. I mean, I would think it would look pretty awesome. And then we actually got gameplay here. I really like Spyro's turning animation, like he turns around and looks. First I was disappointed that he didn't do the lick thing, but it's in later footage, so I know that they put it in there. The dogs, I always thought they were more like wolves or something, which I guess makes no sense if that's supposed to be a shepherd, but they seemed a lot more intimidating. Now they kind of just look like regular sheepdogs. I like the old version better. Like, I wish they would have just kind of kept like a big mean dog kind of look, but I'm not gonna complain. They're still I think it's more comical this way, actually. They showed off the roll. The roll's kind of, I don't usually use it. Actually, I don't know that I ever really use it. I did start using it now that I know how people use it to avoid the dogs. Nevin's art gallery is just amazing. I mean, I didn't actually know this was supposed to be Nevin's castle together, but I really like it, and I like Spyro's start and stop animation, like when he skids to a stop. That's adorable. And the clicking feet that you hear in the original videos. The little tail swish. Gotta love the tail swish. I think that was also kind of improved on in later footage as well. This cutscene with Nevin, I really like his design, like his body design, his feet, his hands, his clothes. Not so big on the giant chin and the mustache, but he's still one of my favorite dragons that we've seen so far. I think he's number 2 favorite dragon, behind Nestor, of course. I like the addition of the flyaway animation for the dragons, as well as the autosave added to the first game. Toasty is amazing. Like, just look at that. I just love Toasty's design. Am I the only one that wants to dress up like Toasty for Halloween? That would be a sick costume. I'm glad they started with this, because this is like the most nostalgic, mysterious boss. Like, you actually knew something was up with this one when you couldn't get into it without going through another world first. Look at that angry little sheep. I love the angry little Toasty. I'm not really put off by the fact, that the gem noises at the end when you torch him aren't the same. Doesn't bother me at all. The improvements on the graphics far outweigh the little gem sounds. The returning home is a really neat portal. They kind of lowered it and they made it like a green bubbly thing, but it's still got that bubble action in it. It's really cool. I'm just gonna briefly talk about Sunny Flight. I don't think there's too much to say about it. It's gorgeous, just like pretty much everything else in this remaster so far. I actually have some vision problems, so for me it was easier to see the original ones, but that doesn't mean I don't like this. I absolutely do. The chests are pretty, the added detail. I mean, it's just overall gorgeous. Some people complained about the lack of motion. I kind of agree, but at the same time, I'm like, well, that's probably how an actual dragon would fly. It kind of reminds me of the Dawn of the Dragon flight model. But they did add some of the butt jiggle later for anybody who is concerned. But here's one of those comparison pictures between the original and the remastered version. Looks not as bright. In the original, the water seemed brighter than the sky, but in the remastered version, it's kind of the opposite. And, we got a couple screenshots of our boy Spyro being all adorable and such. This is one of my favorite screenshots, not sure why, just really like the angle. And you get to see the big gem in the middle of where those chests are. We don't get to see too much of Peacekeepers yet, but we do get to see this quick clip. It shows those little gem chests, love those. And a quick look at the balloonist, looks good too. I'm really digging the design of Peacekeepers. It's got more stuff going on. It was pretty barren in the first one. If the first one gave me anxiety trying to avoid a cannon fire, even though it was really pretty easy to avoid it, this one's definitely gonna give me anxiety anyway, trying to avoid that. But look at that pose of Spyro. Just love that boy. My boy. And then, just moving right along, we get quick footage of Clifftown. Love Clifftown. Obviously it's got that purple haze, but what I do see of it, I love it. Then we get screenshots of a level that seems to be another fan favorite, Ice Cavern. Again, love that Spyro pose. He is the best looking thing in this whole trilogy. And we get to see a few screenshots of him torching this Nork. I like the little fireplace looking thing. That's a pretty cool addition. This is a great, this could be a wallpaper. We got the big crystal dragon in the back. We got that awesome little Spyro pose. He's ready to torch that snowball throwing Nork. Put him on his behind. Next up, we're going to take a little look at Magic Crafters, one of my favorite homeworlds. I also wish the Egg Thief had his original voice, but it's not a deal breaker for me, obviously. The blues are just so accentuated here, and high contrast with those reds. It looks lavish, very lavish, especially with the Crystal Dragon statue. Looks like it's almost part of the decor, honestly. And then we have this screenshot here of Spyro flaming one of the green druids. I wasn't sure what those guys were supposed to be in the original version, but now they look like they make sense, and they're gorgeous. So this is probably the beginning of Magic Crafters. It looks like it's like as soon as you walk out of that first room there. And we have him torching something else again, this time after he goes up the hill a little bit. We have a comparison shot of the end of the level, and we can see the balloon. We can see all kinds of stuff going on down there. One of the little green wizards on top of the wall. I mean, it's definitely more walled in. It's walled in on the original, but you can tell that, the walls are a lot closer than they used to be. It's really a neat look. It looks more mountainous that way. I guess less airy, more grounded. Then we get another shot, another wallpaper-esque shot with the balloon. I like the balloon. It's really futuristic looking almost, like a steampunk balloon. It's really awesome. And another cool shot of Spyro and the green little wizards that always make me jumpy. Again, for whatever reason, I don't know. No gameplay of Alpine Ridge, but we do get to see this awesome screenshot. Those beasts scared the crap out of me as a child. They were terrifying. They still look like something you don't want to mess with unless you're Spyro, of course. According to this concept art, it looks furrier and it's really cool. Like, I kind of want one. Looks like a mix between some kind of beast and a spider. Reminds me of, what's that show, Maggie and the Ferocious Beast? This concept art is pretty neat. The green druid on top. I don't recall the green druids being on top of those. I recall the armored ones being on top of those, but we'll see. Then we get, of course, the controversial high caves. Now, I really hope that they add this moss looking or overgrown look to the actual footage, because I love that concept. I love the mountains, the colors. Looks like watercolors. Beautiful. See, here in this comparison shot, there is no foliage on top of those platforms. I really hope they add them. That would be really neat. It would look overgrown and, you know, more wild. We get this shot too, the sun ray coming down. It's really cool. The lighting is different than the last shot. I too would like a little more purple in the sky. Again, not a deal breaker if they don't do it. No big deal. I mean, the golds are so vibrant against the blues and the grays. And then we get some screenshots of Terrace Village. I always liked Terrace Village. I thought it was kind of an underrated level, but I think I'm really gonna like it now. There's a lot of cool gliding and platforming here. It didn't really have an identity of its own, I don't think, which is why it got so lost, but it's not gonna get lost now, I can guarantee it. The huts look great in this. Can't tell if it's in-game or concept art. They look fantastic, more green, less dull and brown, like the cobblestone pathway in there. The Electronorks that always remind me of metal bands. I mean, does this not look like he's ready to jam with the band? Because I think it does. Now, Treetops is my least favorite level. I was surprised to know that it was a fan favorite, but it looks a lot better than it did. Not that there was anything wrong with the original, but again, more bland. This is far more intricate. The lighting gives a different tone, a calmer tone, and less spooky than the original. Wonder why there's fire down there. I don't know. It's pretty weird, but pretty cool. I'm thinking the camera's gonna give me some trouble for sure. Isaac is a pretty neat dragon. He looks like a sea monster. It's pretty neat. Probably the best looking dragon in this level. Like the Speedway arrows. That's so cool. Love it. Get to see an in-game look at that life chest over there. I love the addition of like the Aurora Borealis in this. It gives this level a lot more character. Also, the spinny things are neat, and you can ride on them. Like, I'm gonna be doing that a lot, I can tell you that. I can guarantee I'm gonna be doing that a lot. Then we have some comparison images. This was one of the earlier ones. I always thought those were green clouds, but maybe that was supposed to be the Aurora Borealis. I like that you can more easily tell what it is. I really like these giant ape guys. They look really neat. I'm excited to see them in Metalhead too. Another really good screenshot of Treetops where you can see not one but two of the ramps. You can see the nice archway in the back, the sky, the extra foliage on top of that tree to the left. There's more trees in Treetops than there used to be. Here's another screenshot of him going up in the whirlwind. I kind of like where he goes flat on his belly, but this is cute too. Looks like he's really enjoying himself. Finally, we get concept art for Misty Bog. For anybody who was complaining there was not enough mist in Misty Bog, there looks like there's a lot of mist in here to me, and it's fantastic. And this is at the end of the level. This you can get a better sense of Spyro right next to that, you know, ending structure there. Pretty neat. This is one of my favorite pieces of concept art because this room was nothing. It was nothing in here, and they added water, they added foliage, they added like tree roots and stuff. all kinds of stuff. The colors are pretty. You can see the sun shining from above and from the doorway to the right. And then, of course, we got our footage of Bubba that had girls going crazy. I think his design's pretty cool. I'm not in love with him like all the other girls are, but it's really neat. Really funny laugh, and of course we get his awesome concept arts. I love his skull thing around his neck. We get very quick footage of Lofty Castle in the reveal trailer, one of my favorite levels. It's very dark in comparison to this footage that we got. It looks a little more washed out. I'll be excited to see how that turns out. The only thing we got from Dark Passage was concept art for this little turtle. It's cute that he's green instead of black. Doesn't bother me, but I think it will change the aesthetic of the level just a little bit. And last but not least for this video, we get concept art and screenshots of Nasty Nork, the big Nork himself. And I've got to say, he looks a lot more threatening, a lot more ugly. I don't know if he looks a lot simpler, but you kind of question the dragon's sanity, why they would want to mess with this guy, why they'd want to taunt him. You get this awesome black and white screenshot, an action pose. It's pretty cool from the end game. And then of course we get this fantastical in-game image of Nasty Nork. The colors are great, the glowing end of the scepter or hammer is great. The spikes on his arm cuffs, the brilliant gold, the coloration, the lighting. This is fantastic. Right up there with Ripto's art, which we will get to in the next video. All in all, I am totally digging everything we've seen from the first game. Wow, that was a long recap. But thankfully there isn't as much to go over for Spyro 2 as far as footage and things. We'll go over that in the next video. If you're interested to see more Spyro content, drop a like and hit the notification button. And let me know your thoughts on the reignited version of Spyro the Dragon in the comments down below. I'm Lynn Wolf, signing off.